Hey, so in this second video, we're going to be talking about what happens with variables on both sides, where you have to distribute once. Slides 5 through 6. I think in my last video I said I was covering slide 5. I lied. So here we go. So in these problem types, you're going to see one set of parentheses where you have to distribute out what is in front of those parentheses into the parentheses. So we'll do that now. This negative 10 needs to get multiplied into here, not over here, just into these parentheses. So we have negative 10 times 10x, which is negative 100x. I know some of you are thinking, like, you just were telling me that we can't combine constant terms and variable terms. You can't combine them, like add them, but you can totally multiply them. So negative 100x, and then we have negative 10 times positive 12, which becomes a negative 120. Some of you might put, but wait, that's a plus negative 120. It's the same thing. It's fine either way. Equal sign comes down, 58 minus 11x. And now this looks much like what we were doing in the last video. So let's get these variable terms over to the left. We have this negative 11x. I'm going to add 11x to this variable term. I'm going to add 11x to this variable term. And negative 100x plus 11x. That leads us to a negative 89x. This negative 120 comes down, or minus 120, however you want to say it. The 58 comes down, and now these guys are gone. That's why we did what we did. Now let's get this negative 120 over. Inverse of negative or minus, you're going to add 120 to both sides. So now we have this negative 89x. And that is going to equal, yes, I am cheating off of my notes, 178. I should be able to do that in my head, but sometimes, just like you kids, I panic when I'm on the spot. Negative 89 times x, the inverse is to divide. Cancel, cancel. X comes down, and this becomes negative 2. Pause, rewind, email if you're lost. Okay, same problem type where we're going to have to go ahead and distribute once. So pause the video, do the first step yourself, and then replay it. Okay, so here's the next step, right? I distributed the 12 just into this, and I got 72 from the 12 times the 6, and I got the 60n by the 12 times the 5n. Nothing changed on this side. So let's go ahead and work the problem. Go ahead, pause the video, work it out, and see where we go. All right, so I chose to subtract 60n from both sides. If you chose to subtract the 12n from both sides, that's cool too. I'll give you like a little notes on that if that's the way you went. But let's work this problem, right? So we have the negative 24 coming down. We have a negative 48n coming from 12 minus 60, 72, and these are gone. Now I'm going to add this 24 on both sides so I can get all my constant terms over here to the right. These go away. Something that students constantly do is they're like, oh, this is gone, so I just pull down this 48n. That's not true. This has a negative on it. It stays there. So negative 48n comes down. And then that's going to equal the 72 plus the 24, 96. Then you go ahead, divide the negative 48 on both sides. And we are left with, these cancel, so you have n equals, positive divided by a negative is negative 2. So you should get negative 2. I'm going to do another real quick way to do it the other way. Okay, so those of us who decided to subtract the 12n, this is how this one would be. See you next video.